Okay, guys, Accidental Boar here. So as some of you may know, uh, the Overlord expansion just dropped here like a week ago for Stellaris. If you're curious about it, I decided I would do a short play. I'm gonna make dinner soon, but I just figured. Oh, that's true. I haven't actually played single player before, so it is confused about how much I know. Fair enough. Okay, so honestly, these ones are really great to take first because they will really pump your research going forward. Sometimes you don't get all three, and that's fine. Usually I would prioritize these because these give you, more options as you go down the technology trees. But this first one, I almost always pick these, okay? So then, society, you don't really need anything yet. Technology is good. I always check my first planet. Looks like this has a lot of tech districts. So that's good for generating energy credits, which you use for money and power. This is a pretty standard array. I'm playing a Gestalt machine empire. Means I'm all controlled by a central hub. These are some of your building options still. Nothing much different yet from the previous expansions. I almost always pick this and this to also be research labs because that's also going to give you an edge. Keep an eye on your housing. That's controlled by your Nexus districts. Or you can build drone storage. And honestly, this is just a really good planet. Lots of districts. And it looks like we have a malfunctioning replicator bay, so once we can afford that, that'll give us a higher population increase speed, which is great because Gestalt machine empires suffer a lot in theirs. I used the Origin machine world, so I don't actually have any stations to build right here. If you didn't pick that, you will. So I always pick my ship, right click, and then build those first with my 100 minerals. But let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start looking for choke points. So like this looks like it could be a choke point for this direction. Choke points are where I'm going to put my star bases so that if somebody comes to attack me, they have to go through the most resistance possible. And you start with a little fleet. First thing I always do is I Admiral up because it gives you some bonuses. So let's see. Honestly, I really don't like this one. It reduces your disengage chance. Disengage chance is if you are losing, they can emergency FTL and you don't lose your whole fleet. So as much as flexible programming isn't that helpful for me right now, because I have a negative on my species for 25% less experience, this will equal it out for him once I have enough unity. So there we go. So I'm going to assign him that, I don't know if you noticed, but it brought it up 2. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, if you're just like 2 or 3 above most encounters, you won't lose. So really helpful. It looks like that could also be a choke point, and this could also be a choke point. But I was playing one the other day with my buddy, which is what inspired me to make this, and I actually ended up getting stuck, but like over here, because I was in the center of a point with 2 choke points and then a bunch of clustered stars. So that ended up really screwing me early game on expansion. Luckily, me and my buddy were teamed up, so we managed to get it fixed before mid-game. we're actually still playing that game. I don't know why I'm talking about it like it's done, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, dude, we got the Cybrex lineage. So Cybrex are progenitors, which means, they came before all here in this galaxy. At the end of your progenitor, I think that's the word that they use, origins, you get an artifact usually. So let's see. Precursors, sorry. Precursors. Not progenitors. My bad. So... Oh boy, we already found traces of sentient life. I like to pick this one. We get less negatives, and this closes your borders to them. I used to use this one only, which is great for the influence bonus, but then I was getting backdoored and stuff a lot by other empires because our default status is to be open. But it also increases our contact difficulty, so I'm actually going to go with this one just so you guys can get an idea of it. And again, this episode will probably be short if you're watching this on YouTube, just to give you an idea of how to set up if you want to be specifically a machine empire. Gestalt consciousness. This is always available if you do get attacked. It only costs 15 unity a turn, and you can see your starting edicts fund is 20. That means it won't actually cost you unity production every month to keep it going. It increases starbase speed and capacity so that you can protect yourself better. Okay? And these guys, I kind of keep an eye on them sometimes. As you get technologies, you'll be able to upgrade them, and it's always good to keep them upgraded as much as possible. This guy is exploring this system so that I can take over it, and I will probably build a starbase right there because it looks like that's the only way in from this side. And then before long, this is going to happen. So this is your tradition screen, okay? You're going to select one, and then it's going to give you all these options, okay? All of them are pretty good depending on what you want to do. I almost never pick this one. It gives you a lot of diplomatic bonuses. Let's be honest, I'm a warmonger, so I usually pick supremacy over diplomacy, right? But not this early, okay? My favorite to start with is actually prosperity. It gives you plus 20% mining station output. So any of your mining stations that your construction ships build in other areas go up. And then at the end, you get a solid plus 5% to all jobs and stability. Flat. That's really good. And then I might usually, as a machine empire, I like synchronicity here. Gives you robot upkeep minus 10% and reduces empire size from pops by 10%. You get negatives to those as a machine empire, so that's really good. Subterfuge is really, really good now in the latest updates here because it lets you do spy networks and stuff in other empires so that you don't get caught off guard. Discovery is pretty good. It increases your anomaly research speed, and you get a flat 10% research bonus, which is great. And research cooperative federation types are really good. You need a ascension perk for that though, so that's okay though. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take prosperity, and as you can see, that dumped my unity pool, but it will be useful, I promise. So now we'll go back. And once my Unity builds back up to 100, what I'll probably do is I'll come in here to my starbase and make another science ship, because I'm going to want to be able to explore at least more than one direction at a time. In fact, I can go ahead and make it. I have the alloys. And so now that we've surveyed the system, I'm going to send this guy here, right click, and starbase. And then this guy. Now, you might think, oh, you're going to want to go that way to see what else there is. Not really. I want to come here and see if I can get another habitable world. Because, like, there you can see I have a continental world. Building an early game colony is hard. It really is. Because what it's going to do is it's going to take from your resources that you're making until the colony is up and running on its own. But as you get to like mid-tier, like mid-game scaling, that is going to be really, really beneficial to you. Because otherwise, you're going to have a real bad time. Because the AI empires, I mean, you see how big this is. I did a large elliptical, 4 arms. That's what you can kind of see here, 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 and here. 4-arm elliptical. But luckily we got really close to the center, so towards late game it'll open up the center of the galaxy with a research, and sometimes there's a that's a hard I just totally lost the word. An anomaly. That's going to take 800 days, which, I mean, that's a lot right now. Because I only have the one science ship with staff on it. We do finally have enough for another one, but I'm going to leave that be for now until he levels up a little bit, because that will decrease the amount of time it takes. So I'm going to recruit another scientist. Let's see. Anomaly discovery chance. Perfect for a scouting ship. You can get really good stuff from anomalies, honestly. So he's going to go up this way and survey, actually, while he builds my mining stations here. Which, once we finish prosperity, we'll get a flat 10% bonus to this 3 energy credits per month and this 12 minerals per month. So that's really good. Because especially as we start building stuff here... Oh, sorry, wrong screen. This is really going to eat up our minerals, because, like, look at that. That district is 500 just by itself. Like, and that one's 300, that one's 300. But these are important for us because alloys are how we build our people, right? So, and you can see we do have a machine assembly plant, so that kind of speeds up our stuff there. Luckily, we do have a machine capital because of our origins, so that gives us all of our building slots without having to spend all of our districts on Nexus. Oh, see, that one's just way too hard. That would take us literally forever. So, I'm going to leave that one be for now as well. Let's see. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and make an alloy foundry and then a research lab. Because that'll get our plus 12 up so that we can build more ships and stuff. You can see we do have one unemployed drone already. That's actually... It's bad, but it's not. Because then when we start a colony, I can immediately send someone there to help them get started. Which, if you see this here, that's a great continental world. That's probably going to end up being a forge world, to be perfectly honest with you, because of the amount of districts there. And, like, one thing I look for, too, is, like, modifiers. Sometimes the modifiers will change what you want your world to be. So, let's see. He's still working on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bite the bullet and get a second construction ship, even though it's a little early for me to usually do that. Here we go. Build cost reduced by 10% and build speed plus 25%. And this is better towards later in the game because it reduces your upkeep, which brings up your numbers. But for now, we need to build stuff. So we're going to reduce that cost because that's going to help us in the long run. So, yeah, and we have 4 generator districts here. That's great. And we're going to go ahead and do that too to get our replication popping a little more. And that'll also probably create another unemployed drone, which again will be great when we make this this here. But first we need to bring it inside our borders. And let's see, over here I'm keeping an eye on these guys. So let's check this and see if it's actually going to be a viable choke point here. Speaking of choke points, we have an okay amount of alloys, so I'm going to go ahead and wait for this and start upgrading that right away, because then if somebody comes this way, they're going to have to get through that station. And then let's see, what are you doing? We're going to see if this is a viable choke point. Unfortunately, we will have to wait for tech to expand our ability here before I can build one on each one. That's one of the negatives. Okay, yeah, it looks like that'll be a pretty viable choke point probably. So that's cool. Ah, yeah, see, that's just way too hard for a level 1 scientist. On the bright side, it means we'll probably get some really decent stuff from that when I can eventually do it. So, that's cool. Okay. And these guys are doing okay. But I have the alloys, so I'm going to build one more Corvette in case we run into something we can actually take care of. Like maybe some weak mining drones. Sometimes you'll run into. Or, oh my gosh, these are all ridiculous. But yeah, so. And then he can come here. And once we have enough alloys there, which it looks like I can just buy some. Yeah, so I'll just buy some. Try not to do that too much early game because it hurts you in case something really comes at you hard. But oh, cool, volatile motes. So we have that as an ability to mine later. Cool beans. Yeah, and then let's see. Finally, and yeah, I do have these negatives. Minus 24% leader. See, here we go. Now stuff's gonna get really good. I'm gonna do mining station output again, so that we can double down on that as much as possible. Let's see. And yeah, honestly, see, it goes up every time, so that's gonna hurt me cost-wise. But making 45 a month, I'm going to go ahead and risk it early and colonize this planet so that we can go ahead and get those unemployed pops moved over. Yeah, and we'll take some extra energy credits. Okay, and you can see that one also had Starbase 1 bonus. That's for these guys. So it produces 6, but now we're getting a bonus to that. Once that tech is done, anyway. So in 34 months, we'll start getting a 10% flat. And then any of our tech drones plus 20%. So that's pretty good. Okay. See, that one's pretty good, but we'll go ahead and do the early upkeep reduction. It's only going to amount to like 1 or 2 right now, but as we start to build our facilities here on Master Conduit and the other planets, it's going to get real good. Oh, our malfunctioning replicator bay is almost done, so that's going to bring up our tally here. I don't know if it'll do it in real time. Oh, yep. There it is, building a pop. But let's see if... Oh, I guess it didn't bring it up enough to show. Ow. But we do have an extra... Oh, that's why, because we don't have someone in that job yet. Which this and this took care of our unemployed pops here. So, that's good. So actually, though... Let's see. Yeah, these are pretty low still, so we're going to create some more jobs for that as well. Our housing is going to become a problem too, so we'll start a drone storage. So, awesome. Build mining stations. You're done. So actually I'm going to send him here. And then him here. Because this might actually make an even better choke point. Because that gives us a little more security on our cluster here. And likewise, I can do the same with Tezzeret eventually. But for now, closer the better. Because hopefully we can keep them from getting that far. Oh boy. So, that's a psychic enclave, apparently. First contact unknown entity. Luckily, since it's an enclave, it won't actually keep us from expanding this way, so that's always good. And if you have them like in your space, like where the pink is here, you can sometimes do bonuses. Like I have a mercenary enclave in the other game me and my buddy are playing from yesterday, and we I was able to give them some of my surplus resources to make their fleet stronger, which increased their opinion of me. Oh, nice. So that's started, and you can come take a look at it. It's going to take a while to set up. Oh, wormhole. Those can be problematic. Oh, that's a late game ingredient. That's pretty cool. But, yeah. And it looks like we will be able to remove some stuff once we get the text for it. And get more districts. So, that's cool. Let's see. Yep, he's building that station. He's building that station. And that guy can move on, and we'll see what this cluster is going to look like. Because might even be able to, once we get that upgrade, we may be able to push our choke point out here. We'll see. Okay, how about you? Well, he leveled up finally. Okay. So actually, he's going to go here and build another outpost. And he's going to go here just for when he's done, because he's going to move back down to Croticum. Okay. Oh, nice. Primitive civilizations. Oh, man, that's so redonk. Okay, actually, I'm going to take this flat 5% for minerals. Now, see, that's routine. That's not bad. I'll go ahead and do that one. So here is how long it's going to take. You can see these are both 18. This one's actually beneficial for two reasons. One, you get further advancements in the field of robotics, and two, you get that flat 5%. The army damage will be useful if someone tries to attack us, or if we need to attack someone boots on the ground, but we shouldn't need to do that for a while. Okay, so my timer went off to go start dinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pause this here and end this episode. I probably won't walk you guys through every minute of this game, just because that gets really monotonous and boring for you. But if there is more interest in where this game turns out, because I am playing it for achievements, we'll see what it looks like then. Alright, thanks for joining me. This was Accidental Boar, and we'll see you next time for testing games in my library.